Picture this. The government might soon track your every move through your phone, just because you're a foreigner. Imagine a place where buying an energy drink for a teen is illegal. A subtle online critique of the army could mean years in prison, and being labeled a foreign agent can freeze your income. This isn't a dystopian movie. It's a glimpse into modern Russian law, a system with rules so intrusive they feel like fiction. Today we're uncovering laws active in Russia right now, modern rule shaping, and sometimes shattering lives. Forget typical legal norms. We're diving into a reality stranger than fiction. From sweeping censorship to a Big Brother app for migrants, these are powerful tools of control. What if telling your truth about current events could cost you your property? What if a vague connection to a foreign group meant losing your livelihood? Stick with us as we unpack these modern Russian law secrets, some you truly won't believe. Consumer protection and age restrictions. Starting with consumer protection, Russia implemented comprehensive age restrictions on energy drinks in March 2025. This nationwide policy treats energy drinks similarly to alcohol, requiring ID verification for purchases by anyone under 18. The legislation includes substantial penalties for non-compliance. Businesses can face fines up to 500,000 rubles, approximately 6,300 USD. The law extends beyond simple age verification, prohibiting sales near schools, medical facilities, and cultural institutions. Officials have framed this as a public health initiative, with some even recommending that adults limit their consumption. While health concerns around energy drinks are legitimate topics of debate globally, the comprehensive nature of this regulation demonstrates Russia's approach to addressing perceived public health risks through legislative means. Digital governance and migration management. One of the most technologically ambitious initiatives is Moscow's pilot program for digital migration management, set to begin in September 2025. This experimental system requires many foreign residents to install a government application that tracks their geolocation and provides real-time location data to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The program includes biometric data collection and requires address updates within 3 days of relocation. While diplomats and Belarusian citizens are exempt, the system primarily targets visa-free foreign workers. Non-compliance can result in loss of legal status and potential deportation. Officials present this as a crime prevention measure, though if you're thinking this sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, you're not alone in that observation. The pilot program will run until 2029, and its success could determine whether similar systems are implemented nationwide. Privacy advocates have raised concerns about data security, technical failures affecting legal status, and the broader implications for personal privacy. Anti-extremism legislation and its applications. Russia's anti-extremism laws represent some of the most broadly interpreted legislation in the country. These laws define extremism in expansive terms, with inciting social discord potentially encompassing various forms of online expression, from blog posts to social media content. The legislation has been applied to diverse groups and organizations. In 2017, Jehovah's Witnesses were designated as an extremist organization. Alexei Navalny's Anti-Corruption Foundation received similar classification, making support for the organization's work a criminal offense. In 2023, the international LGBT movement was declared extremist, effectively criminalizing displays of LGBTQ+ symbols or neutral depictions of LGBTQ+ lives. Interestingly, authorities have even designated non-existent organizations as extremist, such as the anti-Russian separatist movement, later connecting actual indigenous rights groups to this fictional entity. The broad scope of these laws creates what legal scholars describe as a chilling effect on public discourse. Digital information control. Russia has developed comprehensive internet regulation policies, often described as creating a digital iron curtain. Social media platforms face significant penalties for failing to remove content deemed illegal by authorities, with enforcement mechanisms that can include blocking websites without court orders. The definition of illegal content includes fake news and disrespect for authorities, with the latter encompassing expressions of disrespect towards society, government, or state symbols. The 2019 fake news law, expanded in 2022, classifies any military-related information diverging from official statements as false information. Since March 2024, promoting VPN services has been prohibited, and encrypted messaging services like Signal have faced blocking orders. You might say the government is trying to become the internet's ultimate content moderator, though that's probably not how they describe it themselves. Foreign agent and undesirable organization designations. The foreign agent legislation represents one of Russia's most controversial regulatory frameworks. This designation applies to individuals and organizations deemed under foreign influence or receiving any form of foreign support, including non-monetary assistance. Once designated, entities must display this label on all materials and communications. A March 2025 law significantly restricts foreign agents' access to income, with earnings directed to special accounts controlled by the government. Additional restrictions include prohibitions on state funding, working with children, or teaching at public universities. The parallel undesirable organizations law allows prosecutors to ban groups they claim threaten Russia's constitutional order or security. In 2024, 64 organizations received this designation, including media outlets like Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and NGOs such as Freedom House 3. As of late 2024, 901 people and entities had been designated as foreign agents. The European Court of Human Rights ruled in October that this law violated Russia's human rights obligations and undermined the very foundations of a democratic society. War-related information controls. Following the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Russia implemented comprehensive information controls regarding the conflict. These war censorship laws criminalize public statements about the conflict that diverge from official narratives. Spreading knowingly false information about the armed forces, defined as anything contradicting official reports, can result in sentences up to 15 years in prison. The legislation even allows for property seizure in connection with these offenses. Several high-profile cases illustrate the law's application. Journalist Maria Ponomarenko received 6 years for posting about the Mariupol theater bombing, while municipal deputy Alexei Goranov was sentenced to 7 years for referring to the actions in Ukraine as a war and expressing concern about civilian casualties. At least 98 new criminal cases were initiated under these laws in 2024. Assembly rights and LGBTQ+ regulations. Russia's approach to assembly rights has become increasingly restrictive, with even single-person protests often requiring prior permission that is frequently denied for critical demonstrations. LGBTQ rights have faced particular restrictions. The 2013 law banning propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations to minors was expanded in 2022 to prohibit all LGBTQ+ propaganda in any media format. The Supreme Court's November 2023 ruling declaring the international LGBT public movement extremist allows for criminal prosecution of anyone deemed to support or participate in this broadly defined movement. In 2024, at least 44 people received administrative convictions for displaying LGBT symbols, primarily for posting rainbow flags online. Gender transition procedures have been effectively banned, and transgender individuals face additional legal restrictions. Understanding the broader context. These legislative developments reflect Russia's approach to balancing what officials describe as security concerns, traditional values, and state sovereignty with individual rights and freedoms. While authorities frame many of these measures as protecting national security or public health, critics argue that they are significantly restricting civil liberties and democratic participation. The vague language in many of these laws creates what legal experts call chilling effects, where individuals and organizations self-censor to avoid potential legal consequences. The selective enforcement of these regulations raises questions about their impact on fundamental human rights and democratic institutions. From energy drink regulations to digital surveillance systems, modern Russian law demonstrates how legal frameworks can profoundly shape daily life and social interaction. These laws aren't just abstract legal concepts, they have real-world implications for what people can say, whom they can associate with, and how they conduct their daily lives. What aspects of these legal developments do you find most significant? The digital surveillance initiatives? The broad definitions of extremism? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this exploration of comparative legal systems informative, consider subscribing for more deep dives into global governance topics. Understanding how different legal systems operate helps us better appreciate the complexities of modern governance and the ongoing global conversation about balancing security, order, and individual freedoms. Thanks for joining this exploration of Russian legal developments. Stay curious and keep learning about the world around us.